Alright, folks, and welcome back to the channel. We're just here to discuss last night's game when it finished Celtic 1, Dundee 0, where as Celtic start the season off with 3 points. But to be honest with you, I think that's where the positives end for last night, to be honest. But we'll get into everything that kind of went on. I'm joined by Alistair to go over it. Alistair, how's things?
Yeah, I'm alright, Josh.
Good. Um, as I said, the positive about last night was I'm not even going to beat around the bush about it. I mean, it is the performance. We'll get in a minute. The main thing is we got the points. That's always the main thing. Um, but as I said, putting the title, Alistair, I mean, more questions, a lot more questions than maybe the answers we were hoping for.
Well, off the off the part, Josh, it's not my place. I'm not criticising anybody by saying that, but even outside before the game, the place was flat. The whole the whole night was flat. Even before the game kicked off, I certainly felt it. I don't know about you.
I'll give you my reasons why I think it was extremely flat, right? I think there's two main reasons. One of the reasons was out with Celtic's control. The fact it's a Monday at 7:30, I'm sorry, I couldn't really be asked either to wait, to be honest. I just think it's a shite kick-off time, to be honest, and stuff, so I can understand that, and things. And the second reason for me, the bold, because they started off well with Casper Who, but they've signed the day after that. And I think a lot of fans are that kind of goodwill, that bit of positivity they got with Casper Who is ran out, and it's ran out with me as well because I think that's the two main reasons why it was flat, and I just think there was nothing really to get behind. Um, I think the two main things that I get with talking about signings and stuff, and as I said, we'll get into absolutely everything because I've got kind of a lot to say in a lot of things. Signings as well. I just think tactics as well. I think there's just a lot of things at Celtic that fans are just a bit pissed off at, to be honest, and rightly so. In terms of the game, Alistair, I mean, the team was pretty much what we expected it to be honest. Casper
Go to
Hall,
bang on myself, Josh.
um, Casper Hall was up top. Duran was on the left hand side, which should be the last time he's ever out wide. I'm going to be honest with that. That was another issue I had with last night. Um, Arne Engels played probably which should be his last game for Celtic. Callum McGregor played. He was alright, to be fair. Negrin got the goal as usual.
And it's one of his better games. In
Aye.
terms of involvement, I would say.
Um, and that's probably Negrin was probably one of the main positives, I thought, in terms of his link up with Casper Who, and obviously he gets the goals. He always seems to be just in the right place at the right time. But as we continue to say, where would we be without the guy? Because I dread to think. Then the defence, which are Kieran Tierney, Alistair Johnson come in, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Austin Trusty and Sinisal. The defence and goalkeeper the best area of the pitch last night. I thought they were pretty solid. Sinisal was forced into some really good saves to keep the game at 1-0. So I thought that was the main kind of positive.
It was a
Um,
it was a saving 2 points save because let's be honest, that gets in we're no scoring.
oh no, definitely. So yeah, as I said, I thought the defence and the goalkeeper were probably the best area of the pitch. To be honest, I thought just for the start, I just thought there was a lack of urgency. It was really, really slow and laboured. It was just there was no pace. You know, it just. I'll put it this way. It reminded me of last season before the split. Just a turgid,
It was
slow.
about it was about like the Hibs game. You remember when Trusty gets sent off? Everybody's sitting, we're going to bore us. You could see it coming.
Do you want me to be honest with you? I think it was like 80% of the games we played last season. if I'm being
Probably.
honest with you. Calvin Copy, you're St Mirren for Flag Day last year. You know, the games under Rodgers was really boring and turgid. Um, Martin O'Neill then, which at the time I understood, like, you need to get his out of the line, but looking back on it, before the split, it was quite turgid, and then it seemed that we'd go to kind of lease a life into the split, a lot of confidence, you know, and we were playing some good stuff. There was like last minute winners, but you could see a bit of, you know, there was a plan there. That's the big worry for me as with a lot of things, it just didn't seem there was a plan there last night, to be honest with you. Because the first half, honestly, it just passed us by.
If it was me, Josh, I would ditch a 4-3-3. But what I will say, and I checked this today, seeing Flag Days, you might get the odd 7-0 against St Johnstone, but they do tend to be studgy games. But I was expecting a wee bit better last night because of the two strikers and the two goal scorers, to be
As I
honest.
said, I don't expect Celtic to win. I think the big frustration for me, it just looks like a continuation of last season before the split, as I said. And I'm questioning what have we been doing here pre-season.
Well,
Like,
I seen a lot on social media today, folk were saying we still don't look coached.
no, we don't. I'm going to agree with them. I don't know. Dundee played some good stuff last night, and they had a finisher, and thank God they never. You know, you're probably looking at 2 points trapped because I just thought Celtic were really, really poor. And I know I'm being very negative. I was quite pissed
No,
off,
well,
to be honest.
that's, well, I'll tell the viewers, but as somebody that's sat next to you, think this is negative viewer, and then the last night it
To
was
be fair, I
horrible.
think even you, I think I think everybody was just like, this is. I've
You
not
know,
spoke to some.
I felt like I was like a hypnotist, so I was ready to doze, tell you the truth.
Peter Powers at the pavilion.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, to be honest.
No,
But
it was just really boring, man. To be honest, and I know people we go to 3 points, we can win it. Aye, I've already said that's the main thing, but if you think we can play like that for 38 games a season,
I mean, I'm going to say something, Josh. I don't think me and you expect us to win 38 games out of
oh,
38.
no.
It's not going to happen. But what we do expect, and what I want, is an improvement week by week. This is
Aye.
rock bottom. I want to see us improve. But to improve, I think A, you're going to need to bring players in, and B, you're going to need to change the system. I would go to a 3-5-2 now because
No,
I don't think you can leave it.
I completely agree. I says when Martin O'Neill was appointed as permanent manager in the summer, I've not got a problem with it as long as I see an improvement on last season's performance. 'Cause even Martin O'Neill would come out and says that the performances were pretty
I'll
crap.
tell you another positive Josh for me. At least Martin O'Neill, after the game, came out and said, no good enough. He played
Aye.
rotten.
So he knows, like, I think I'd have fucking took a meltdown. I think if bloody Martin O'Neill went, oh, brilliant. No, I'm glad he came out and says we won it because it was no good enough at all. There needs to be an improvement, especially with some of the games that we got. I know, Command, maybe, you know, at the weekend,
You know, their manager, Neil McCannell, cleared them up for it.
I have him up for it anyway because he was fuming at the weekend because they obviously let a lead slip against St Johnstone.
We
You know,
think
so
we were bad, they were. But we're not doing a preview. I'll say
aye.
that Thursday.
But my point is, you know, we've got some really difficult games that we should be winning, but they're still difficult if you don't take care of them.
You still need to earn the right, and I think that gets forgotten. And can I just say, and I don't say this often enough, credit to Dundee. I was impressed with their organisation. Didn't create much, but I was impressed with them.
but that's, I think, we're going to tactics in a second, but I think that's the problem with this. We need to, Celtic need to change. You know, that these 4-3-3s and 4-3-2-1s, whatever Rodgers played, is,
It needs bend.
you know, teams know how to play against it. It is too easy to play against. You know, it's, and that's why Dundee looked settled. They looked comfortable in the game, to be honest. Comfortable to, like, to maybe the last kind of 10, 20 minutes where we had a few chances. McGregor hit the bar, Tanecki blazed a shot over the bar, Forrest had put wide, obviously Casper who had a few chances, but they
It
looked
wasn't his
comfortable.
night. It really wasn't his night.
Aye, but
He's trying.
we'll come into him in a second. But it's just the system for me. Don't get me wrong. I think when players come in, it will improve, but I don't think it'll have this drastic improvement everybody's expecting. I think
You need
it'll
legs in
improve.
that field. You need
But I
legs
think
in that field. It's clear.
I just think that's another thing I'm going to say. I think this whole we bring midfields that it's going to improve, right? I get that, but I do think with the system we are playing, the midfield just doesn't work no matter who you put in it. To be honest with you, it is honestly you wouldn't think we had a midfield last night. It was
Too
really poor.
easy.
We're too easy to play through, and I'm just looking at this with the thing that we've got last coming up in the Champions League, which is probably one of the tougher ties we could have got. You
Still
know,
should be going through if you want my opinion.
no with this squad, and time's running out for
Well,
Celtic.
you've got 10 days as of today.
Nah, Celtic need, and this is the frustrating thing again about the Champions League. It's not that I'm scared of the opponent. I think, you know, we'd have a decent chance against Lask if we're prepared. I'm scared because Celtic just aren't prepared yet again. You know,
Yeah,
it's no good enough. You've got 10 days to register players, and we've
I know,
signed 2
I
players.
know you get 2 wild cards, but
But we shouldn't
really,
need to rely on wild cards. We should have our squad ready, or most of the squad ready for that champion. That's the big game. That is why do they? Why every season do we gamble 40 million quid? Just have 80% of your squad ready to go.
aye,
You know, you've had all summer to recruit. You've had a World Cup for fuck's sake to look at players.
I know.
I mean, it's just
And we've still not got a left back. That's another.
exactly.
I
You know,
wish that Johnson had to play a left back.
Alistair
My
Johnson.
God.
You know, and then Donovan, and then your mental gymnastics, and you know, there's been a lot of talk about Martin O'Neill not making subs. Well, no fucking wonder. Did you see the bench? No fucking wonder. Did you see the bench? I'm sorry, you've got Rail Hatai on the bench, who doesn't want to be here. You've got Dane Murray, in my opinion, who's no good enough. You've got James Forrest, who's James Forrest, and that's not being me rude to Forrest. We need to understand he's at an age in his career where he's not got to be able to maybe impact games that he was able to, like maybe a few years ago. You've got Sebastian.
To 10, for God's sake.
You've got Sebastian Tanecki, who it's just no good enough. Luke McCowan, no good enough. Oxley Chamberlain, we brought him in and he's David. Why we see no subbed on? Because I just honestly, it's just mind-boggling, man. What are we doing? You know, and that's maybe the only thing about it's only 1-1 nothing. And in fact, I need to choose between Celtic winning comfortably and scraping the game.
You must be Mystic Meg, because when I showed you the team sheet, you went, I know we want to 1, 3 or 4, but maybe it's the best thing if we only scrape a 1 nothing.
But maybe I'm being naive. Do you think the boards really care?
Do you want the honest answer? No.
No. But what I think it does do, I think it gets fans a bit, their backs get hanged up a bit. Right, we're in a bit of a mess here.
Well, you'd need to be Stevie Wonder not to see that state of that squad at the moment. And I'm not being flippant to say that, but if you don't think we need players, I don't know what I'd say to you.
I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I'm taking out the players who might be leaving, your Engels or Johnsons or Hatatis. A squad isn't even Europa League level, and I mean that. It's no, it's just not even Europa League level, never mind Champions League level.
Can I be flippant? It's not even SPFL level.
I'm him
Well,
being too kind to them, man.
it's been, well, see, to be honest, what I will say, Josh, it's a stretch for it to be SPFL level. We're just getting away with it in the mayor. But
Aye,
if you think this is going to sustain us, well, let's do a wee bit of mathematics for a second. You're guaranteed at least 10 games in Europe.
aye.
Aye. And 38 league games, not to mention maybe a couple of cup games.
So you're probably talking about nearly 50 games there.
This squad's no equipped for 50
And
games.
we've no brought a midfielder in, and we expect to play Cal McGregor, who was clearly a bit burnt out last season. We expect him to play all 50 games.
And that was Cal McGregor having a summer's best last night. It's only got to get worse.
You know, and I don't think he was bad, but he's not going to score
No,
to
but you
catch.
know what I mean? That
His
was
legs
him
are
at
going to go away.
season.
The problem is you can't. It's the same as Scott Brown. You can't play these guys 50 games. Plus, Cal McGregor's got a different role to Scott Brown. Scott Brown just kind of, and I'm not doing him a disservice here, right? But he was like just the enforcer. You know, it made sure everything was ticking in. He would give the ball.
That's Scott Brown, to be honest.
Aye, he would give the ball to McGregor, because obviously McGregor played further up. Give the ball to Armstrong, and they would make things happen. Cal McGregor's doing about 50 different things at the one time. Try to get forward, then try to run back. Because we've got nobody ahead of him to do that sort of role.
There was an incident last night. I don't know if you remember this. I pointed it out to you at the time. It was outside the box, and you're like, shoot. And they never saw it. He passed it to the side. I went, the old Cal McGregor with a shot there. It was petrified to shoot in case it lost the ball.
Because it's the lack, I think, because he's been asked to do. That's where Cal McGregor get a lot of criticism, right? And I don't really think it's been fair, right? And I honestly think we need to realise where Cal McGregor actually is at his career. He can't play 50 games a season anymore.
No.
You know, the amount of risks that Celtic are taking is unbelievable. You seen my face when Yang went down injured?
Yang, who was in a soccer, by the way.
No, forget if he was good enough or not. The fact is that you're thinking, oh, there's another number away.
I don't
That's
know
the
how
thing.
that strike up no hair.
I don't know, but that's the risk you take. That's the risk.
I know, man.
And it's just, when are they going to wake up and go, right, we need to bring... I really don't know what to say. It's just,
I'm waiting for the apology at the end of the window. Don't even bother, Celtic.
you know, the 4th of August and you've signed 2 football players.
And folks, I know technically it's free, but I'm not including Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, to be honest.
That's just like signing our contract. That's not even
trying. And by the way, can I just say another thing, and please, I'm touching wood as I'm saying this. We're Binyami Sinical injury away for playing Ross Struhan in the Champions League qualifier.
But there's so many positions where you could say that. You could say that about left back, you could say that about centre half, you could say that about right back, you could say that about wingers, you could up front's probably the only position you couldn't say it. But the problem is we've brought in another centre forward and playing him out wide, where he's clearly, by the way, he done the best he could out there. I felt sorry for him. Because there's nobody else.
I know.
He's a centre forward, and this is just plugging gaps everywhere and hoping we get by.
Where me and Josh sat, there were a couple of moans and groans when he lost the ball. I'm like, it's not his fault.
He's not a winger.
He's a
centre forward.
He's got pace there on, but he can't use his pace out there.
No, definitely. Before we move on to the last wee bit, I'm just going to say this one thing. If Arne Engels and Alistair Johnson leave, that is us nearly brought in about £50 million before Champions League money. Realistically, by the end of this window, we could have ended up with £90 million in the bank.
Aye, and are you including the potentially 40 million Champions League?
That's in the 90 million. So 50 million probably in sales if Engels and Johnston go for the fees that it looks like they might go for. Plus, like
You,
some
you've got the Maeda money.
Maeda, you've got
Okay.
Hatate probably going to leave. Bernardo might leave. You've got players that are going to leave the building. You're up at nearly £55 million, and I've got people out there saying Celtic minimum should be spending £30 million this window minimum.
Aye. You, you, and that's what worried me. Ronnie Charters for STV Sports said this, and trust me, he's got a lot of contacts. And it's Celtic. He said, what was it? He said, the worry is, he's heard it's 1 in, 1 out, and that tallies up what we've seen already. If
I
that's
don't.
the case, that's a disgrace.
See, to be honest, I think we could have all guessed that, couldn't we? That's how they operate. You look at the Maida, the when
Well,
Maida left,
see if
Casper Hall was
Engels,
in.
see if Engels goes, you can guarantee after the thanks for the memories Arnie tweet, there'll be a tweet no far along from it saying we've agreed a fee for a player.
Aye, pretty much. Maybe Mika Bauer or something like that. I don't think fans will
That's
buy it.
another pass, by the way.
I just don't. I think even if that did happen, I don't think people would buy it.
No, because he's a bad player.
No,
Just all the good's been took out at me.
no, because like you say, they already know about how they operate. It would just confirm to everybody how we know they already operate. That is 1 in, 1 out kind of thing. But who knows? I mean, this is just. I'm saying who knows everything because I don't really know what else to say about it.
I'll be honest, Jonathan, I'm not being funny. It's getting to the point I don't even want to talk about transfers now
Aye.
because you're banging your head off a brick wall.
Oh yeah, it's just that's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, we'll see what happens because I don't know what else to really say. A few players I want to speak about. How did you think Casper Hall got on? Because there's been a perfectly normal reaction to his debut.
I hope that was
Of course
sarcasm,
it was. Fuck.
but but no, actually, John, do you know something? I actually thought he done okay. He was unlucky a few times. Boys going the other side of the post. He probably should have had at least one goal, I think. But you know what? The guy's a proven goal scorer. So do me a favour. Give him a break.
Aye, no, I completely agree with you. I said this would happen though. I said this was happening. The guy's played 90 minutes of football and you're trying to make judgments. I'm sorry, but go watch fucking golf, please. Seriously.
What I will say, Josh, is this. He'll be one of the players. See when he starts scoring, he'll not
Aye.
stop.
That's
And
what it
I
was like at Bodo Glimt. They went through this. I think it was like a streak of like 8 games without scoring. Then he scored like against Man City and he just off he went.
something very similar happened when Martin O'Neill put John Hartson in because everybody thought Hartson was this flat lump. Took him a while to score, but once he started scoring, he got over 100 goals for the club. So
Another thing I think everybody's missing, if you think Casper Ho is the biggest problem in this club at the moment, I mean, look at the service he's getting. You know, the only person that was trying to service him was Negrin, and I think that was one of the positives. They looked like they were able to link up quite well together and
I
stuff.
touch wood, Josh, it doesn't look as if Negrin's going anywhere.
No,
I think he's going to have a big season for us.
I think if we're playing properly, I think if we're playing
Well,
well,
I've seen encouraging signs of that last night.
that
But
was,
it was the first time, really, he's had somebody to play off.
I think he's a second striker. I've said this for a long time. I think he's a second striker. He's not a midfielder. He's somebody that can link up with somebody and give, who. The problem is who had no help in that
No,
box.
I keep going back to this. no legs in midfield, nobody
Aye.
can get up.
And then there's a lack of wingers. If we can get Negrin, maybe he's just to stay in about where Casper who is and see if they can link up. That could be something. But it needs to try and be, there needs to be players brought in to try and get the best out. I've said that all along. But anybody writing them off after one game, I mean, what are you
Get ahead
expecting?
of Wobble.
What are you expecting? I'll give maybe 10 games, and if he's still no scored, then I might come on and say, do you know what? But that's not going to happen because
Oh,
he,
you know, would it honestly surprise you if Casper who scored a brace in, in Sunday? Because it wouldn't surprise me.
it would surprise me because of the lack of service he's got.
No,
Not
but
in terms of his goal scoring antics, but the problem is, he had hundreds of chances. He had, I think, 3 chances.
and see, to be honest, apart from the one he sclapped by the post, which ironically was the first chance, the one right to the end towards the end of the game, he does have one right. He just ran the opposite side of the post.
Pretty
Does have
much.
one right there.
So in conclusion, see if you're writing him off, his piece. Anyway, before we go, um, who was your man of the match?
Tierney.
I say me, mate. I thought he was the only person that actually knew how to cross a ball.
And what a boy close in for the goal, by the way. That
And
was
I just,
another thing. If you watch it, Casper Ho takes the other defender away to allow Negrin to head the ball into the net. If you watch
aye,
it again, does really well.
aye. But that's why I would like Negro maybe try him as a second striker, because I think they could get something out of that, I think, man. But who knows? We need to change something, as I says. But it's 3 points on the board, that's the main thing. But there's quality is
And
needed massively.
aye, we need players ASAP.
Aye, because we can't play like that every week. Because
No,
it's just no sustainable. But no, I'm going to wrap up there for today's video. And if there's any news, I say that, try not to laugh. Then we'll be back.
no, well, to be fair, there's normally news when we when we recorded a video,
Aye,
so
so maybe we might be back on in half an hour saying Alistair Johnson's leaving the club. That's a joke, but who knows? But anyway, I'll wrap up there. Until next time, we'll speak to you later. And hail, hail.
hell.